Can you hear that? There's something spiritual about the sound of running water. As you can see, everything's gone in here except one empty grow bed because, as I was saying before, I'm starting the new transition of breaking these two small indoor aquaponic systems down to go outside. Not this equipment though, to go outside into the much larger systems outside that I'm DIY, powered by solar. And I have these guys being powered by my one of my 5.0 3,000 watt 48 volt EG4 systems. I have two. So they're being powered by the big system that's in the garage. And going to give the fish a little food, hopefully without dropping this phone in their tank. And these guys will be transferred outside into the much larger systems with a lot more fish, because these tanks are only 55-gallon barrels. But these barrels, like I was saying before, will be turned into my fry tanks. So I'm planning on breeding my own fish here near future also. So as I break all this stuff down and transfer everything outside and out of the garage to larger systems, let's talk about infrastructure. When it comes to me being self-sustainable, infrastructure is the most important thing. You can be off-grid anywhere. People, you can be off-grid anywhere. You can be off-grid in the city, in the suburbs, on your own acreage, out in rural, unrestricted land. Anybody can do this. You can be off-grid anywhere. With technology now, you're able to grow food anywhere and be off-grid anywhere. So don't get caught up into the stigma that you have to own 1,000 acres of land, this and that. You don't have to. You don't have to. And for a lot of people, that would be a bad idea, because some people don't have the financial means. They don't have, they're single people. It's going to be hard for a single person to run a homestead, a large homestead. It's going to require some help. If you don't have a significant other, you don't have kids, you don't have those human resources to help you feed all that livestock and all so forth. And one person doesn't need a whole lot of livestock anyway, unless you're going to be selling that livestock. But one of the reasons why I'm showing my journey is I'm showing people a different way of doing things when it comes to living off grid and building, DIY your own stuff. You don't have to go out and buy a lot of stuff. I made these fish tanks out of recycled food grade barrels, painted them, everything. All this stuff I did myself. And as you can see, it's worked fine for me. And you can grow a whole lot of food in a small space, whether it's in the burbs like me, or whether you're in the city, or whether you're on a homestead in the desert. You can do this. So when you're thinking about being self-sustainable, Think outside the box. Use critical thinking. Make it convenient for your lifestyle. We are all different kind of people who have different ways of living. So, as I go on my journeys, I'm hoping I'm giving people some inspiration and so forth on how you can do this, different ways of doing it, and give people some insight. So as I continue to break these systems down, to go outside, for my new systems outside, I'll show that too. As you can see, my fish are just healthy as can be. These fish will have one bad day. They serve two purposes. I need the fish waste to feed the plants, and I also need the fish protein to eat. That's aquaponics. So you're seeing with your own eyes. There's so many ways to grow food. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to get caught up. You don't want to put yourself in debt. You don't want to rush. Don't rush. Don't rush and try to follow the sheep herd and say, "Oh, I got to do this. I got to get all this land." And don't get in debt. Do not get in debt, people. I don't believe in debt. I believe in paying cash for mostly everything. I take my time. People ask me, are you going to be growing food this year? I won't be growing a lot of food this year because, as you know, I'm building my infrastructure. And I'm taking my time, paying for everything, saving my money, paying everything in cash. So don't have any debt doing all this stuff. With the way the country is going now, inflation is so high, people. Inflation is high. Interest rates are high. This country is in an economic crisis. And part of living sustainable, the purpose of being more self-sustainable is living cheaper. It's living cheaper. That's why I'm doing all this. I'm not doing all this to make debt. I'm doing it to live cheaper and eat healthier and be happier and live simpler. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and let me feed this tank real quick. These guys, give them a little food for tonight. Just do it the way you want to do it and how you want to do it. That's all I'm saying. Be open to everybody's ideas. I watch everybody. I watch all kinds of homesteaders. I watch urban homesteaders. I watch off-grid homesteaders. I watch suburban homesteaders. I watch all type of gardeners, from aquaponics to traditional gardening. I've done it all myself. But as I get older, I have to think about my health as I get older. That's another thing you have to take into context. Will you be able, if you have a bunch of land, are you going to be able to do that when you get older? Are you going to want to do it? There's all types of variables in this. So that's one of the reasons why I chose aquaponics, because aquaponics is less labor. It's less labor intensive. So as I get older, got back problems and all this, you can't be lifting heavy stuff. You can't be bending over. You can't be doing this. You gotta think 5 years, 10 years, 15 years forward when you're doing this stuff. You gotta use critical thinking. So with that, grow some food, DIY solar, prepping, because nobody's coming to save us. I've been in a lot of disasters. Nobody came to save us. So and the world's not getting any better. It's not getting any safer. Good night.